I'll tell you the introduction of the P90
Yeah,
was
Jeremy
it
Heiner wanted to know what led to the switch around season 4 of SG-1 and later in
well,
Atlantis. He's got a PS90 and he loves it.
oh, he does. Okay. Well, the when we did the first episodes, they wanted the same firearms that they used in the Stargate movie, which was the MP5, and back then it was the Alpha 2 model, the A2 model. And we used everything from the A2 to the A5s, and it all has to do with the select lever, the type of look it has, and stuff like that. All made by the same company. And I'm like, they're traveling to all these different planets. It's a submachine gun round. It doesn't have a lot of range, and it's not really meant for fighting in a built up area of trees and stuff like that in big open fields. It's a close quarter battle weapon. It's made for SWAT teams or SEAL teams that are very close quarter. It has a great stopping power and all that, but I'm like, it's the wrong weapon for this team. And I tried to push it in back in season 2 and season 3. They're like, we're already invested. We have all these rubbers and replicas made for all these SG teams. And I said, okay. So start of season 4, we had a big production meeting. I think we were 2 weeks out from doing the first episode, and we had the P90s, and we ordered, I think we purchased 10 of them. It was extremely hard to get because being French, I had to speak French to Belgium back and forth with the company. And lucky because of that, they said, look, we'll give you the wet firearms, but they can't be used in bad taste. They have to be a positive effect. I call it the Top Gun theory, right? And I said, finally, we got the firearms, and I think we got them about a month before we went to that meeting. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to bring this firearm, obviously clear and safe, to the production meeting. And I had the case with me, and we're going through the script and this and that. And then they mentioned, oh, and Carter and O'Neill both have their MP5s, and Michael Shanks just has a sidearm, and he's always carrying a Pelican case of some sort, right? He always had some type of scientific equipment and stuff like that. And a lot of times Teal'c would carry his staff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the one of the producers, and I think it was Brad Wright, goes, Rob, just a question, what's in the case behind you? I'm like, aha. So I said, look, I have a firearm here, and I think it's going to be perfect for our team. And I basically pulled out the P90. Andy Makita was sitting there, Martin Wood was there, and Alex Pappas, who's a very good friend of mine, who's retired, he was also there. All the ADs were there. I just showed them, look, guys, it's clear and safe. And they're like, oh, that's incredible. Wow. And so I explained to them the everything about the P90. Its stopping power, its range, its mobility, its compactness, and it's user friendly. And they're like, I can't remember which producer it was. Maybe it was Robert Cooper. He says, that's great. He says, do they have real ones out there we could use? He thought we fabricated that out of nothing. I said, no, this is a real firearm. I said, we have 10 of them ready to go. And they're like, really? I says, well, yeah, it's ready for the show. We can do a transition where they get the P90s introduced in season 4, and they loved it. And from then on, it stuck. We still use different firearms. We had MP5s, we had the SAW, the M60, we had numerous types of firearms, but the SG-1 team, that was their benchmark, and they loved it because I helped introduce a certain type of holster, not a holster, a
So they
sling
can do
that
this.
they could do this. And Rick was always doing this, right? He would just sit there and listen, but they loved it because it was always in front of them. It wasn't long. It didn't have sharp edges. They fell in love with it right from day one. But before we even got to that, I had to train the cast again because now there's a new weapon system. So then I think it was 2 or 3 days before all the cast were in town. I said, look, give me 2 hours with the cast. Give me the gate room. I'll do it in the gate room. Give me some production assistants to lock the doors. I want full lockdown. Just me and the cast, no one else. I'm going to run them through the dry training, and then we're going to test fire because we did a lot of firing in that gate room, as you know. And I had the forecast. I said, okay, we're going to fire some firearms here. All P90s, you're going to load on your own. You know how to do it. I've just showed you for the last few hours. And they all loaded it. They chambered the round. They put it on automatic. And they're like, well, what about the brass? I'm like, don't worry about the brass. I said, just don't wear sandals or flip flops in here. That's all. And they loved it. They all unloaded their magazines and they pulled the magazines out because I trained the actors on everything, how to clear misfires and jams, how to change mags. They were self-sufficient. And it got, as they fired the weapon more and more and more, they got more comfortable with it. And they knew the effects because we used everything from full loads, which is a huge muzzle flash. You're looking at 2 feet out of the P90, to a quarter load, which was about 6 inches, right? And sometimes we had some very noise environments that there was bylaws where they couldn't achieve over a certain decibel rating.
Mhm.
And but anytime we're in the stage, people love the full loads. They're more reliable, they're cleaner burning, they look great on camera. And the muzzle flash is so big that a lot of times the film would cover multiple flashes compared to HD today, which pretty much captures all of it.
Mm.
And a lot of times the quarter loads were so minute they don't have to enhance it by CGI, but they had something at least. I had options for them. And then we had these high-end rubbers that were made for the actors when they weren't firing, and then we had really good replicas. So I actually had three of everything, three replicas for each actor, three rubber guns for each actor, because sometimes there was a stunt double or there was a second unit filming that day and I had to match them 1-to-1. There couldn't be anything different. Like Amanda liked to, she liked to have her weapon a little bit higher so she could flip it into her shoulder, where Rick liked his a little lower. Chris didn't care. He was like, okay, whatever, it fits, it's great and all that. And Michael Shanks would be like, yeah, okay, Rob, I want it just off centered a bit. I'm like, no problem. So I modified a lot of their slings and everything was great and stuff like that. And then it was as simple as, okay, we're doing a stunt here. And I would unhook the real P90 and put on a rubber one. Boom. And then they'd go to do the stunt. It was we had foam rubbers, we had hard rubbers, you had all different types. We had a whole team of prop molders that were making everything, and they did such a great job. I know that a lot of those rubber firearms are in various producers' offices, or down in Hollywood or with the cast, because when we did finish the show, they obviously wanted a lot of it for memorabilia, right?
Absolutely. It's non-functional. So,
It's non-functional, it's just a piece of rubber.
and
Yeah.
you watch these shows, everything, Westworld. I mean, the P90, you can see it everywhere now. Like, it really caught on fire with the everyone's recognizing the utility of that piece. They're easy to handle. I've held one myself. They're just right for the show. Thanks for watching this clip from Dial the Gate. If you enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up. It's our goal to share a new Stargate story every day while we're on break. Please feel free to subscribe to future episodes here on YouTube. And if you have Stargate friends who might like this clip, let them know about us. Be sure to visit dialthegate.com to view the complete archive, as well as transcripts from past interviews. I'll see you on the other side.